Okay, so right here we've got a old Stihl 041 Farm Boss chainsaw, and it needs the carburetor rebuilt on it. Carburetor needs rebuilt because it sat over the winter. We ran it some, and then it just didn't, like at high throttle, it wouldn't run right. So even when we adjusted the high and low adjustment screws, are mostly the high one. So I'm gonna show you how to rebuild this today. It's a Tillotson carburetor. Not sure what the model is on it, but we're gonna rebuild this today. So stay tuned, I'll show you how to rebuild it. Okay, so we'll start off on this side. Start off, loosen all of those 4 screws, and then take it off, drop the screws here, and you've got this diaphragm here. Okay, and then, so let me find the parts for this. I'll come back and show you what we're replacing from here. So just wanted to show you guys quick here, this is the fuel filter going into this side of the carburetor. Comes out from that little tiny hole. What I did to get it out was I just took a pick right along the edge of it and pried it out of there. But as you guys can hopefully see there, that is very dirty. So much junk is caked in there. So yeah, that's probably a good majority of our problem there. So anyways, we'll replace everything here, probably replace the filters on the other side too. So I'll show you how to do that here too. So here we've got our old gasket to the left, our new one to the right, or our, yep. So we've got, that's our new one, or that's our old one, that's our new one. This old one is really brittle and it's stretched like around in that circle. The new one's a lot softer and everything. So also one thing I noticed with this carburetor kit is they have this rubber one on their, like from the factory. They send this big thick one with you in the kit. That's way too thick to go on there. So I'm just gonna use this old one that's on there. That new one might work, but I'm just gonna keep this one on there. But yeah, see y'all in a minute. Okay, so I've got this side put back together again. Got the new diaphragm put in there and the new fuel filter put in there. And to put that new one in there, I just set it in there and then actually took just one of the screws, made sure it's clean, and then pushed it down in there. So it was fairly tight in there because it starts out splayed out and then you push it in and the outside shrinks around it. So now we're gonna move on to this other side and take that apart. You'll notice this side is a bit more complex. It has a needle and seat and springs and everything. So we're gonna dig into that here. But also wanted to show you that this is another diaphragm that's the same as what we put on the other side, but this is a different material. And I don't know if this is meant for a different chainsaw or what it is, but it's just got the same cutout, but it's a lot different than what we put in there. So I'm just sticking with the rubber one because that's what came out of there. So let's dig this side apart quick. Here I've taken this cover off and we've gotten in there. This is the diaphragm that's in this side. It has a little groove notch there that sits right in. See that little groove in the needle sits right in there, so it doesn't move up and down. And then sits right in there, and that pushes that up and down, letting fuel in and out. So we're gonna replace or get these first and see what's under there, and then we're gonna take that apart and I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so in this kit you get a new needle and new these parts, and I don't believe this one comes with a spring. At least I didn't get one, so that'll be fine though. So yeah, just there's one screw holding it in right there. Then you just take this new piece and stick it in like that. Yes, and you stick it in like that with the spring. With the spring right in that little notch right there so that it doesn't move around. And then I'm just gonna put that screw back in there quick. I'll show you that. Okay, so now I put that screw back in there, and now you can see I push that down, brings the needle up, and that's what lets the gas flow through it. So that's good. That should work. Now we're just gonna put this new diaphragm in there. You can see this is the old diaphragm. Again, this one's a lot stiffer, but you can also see how much extra space is around there. And that just happens from getting used, whereas this one's a lot tighter around the diaphragm. It's a lot looser. That just happens from using it basically. So let me slap that back together. I was just watching somebody and he put this big gasket in there too. So I think I'll put that in there too on this side. Can't hurt nothing, I suppose. So see in a minute. So when you put this in, you want to be looking down there and see where that notch is, and then try and kind of get it to slide up in there. Hold on. So it'll go in the side next to it, and then bring it over, push it up, and then when you've got it hooked, it'll go just like that. You can feel that it pushes it back up from the spring, and that's exactly how it'll work. So let's slap this top cover on. See you in a sec. Okay, so then we're also gonna take these idle adjustment screws. The one to the left is low, the one to the right is high, and adjust them to factory specs. So the low is supposed to be 1 to 1 1/4 turns open. The high is supposed to be 3/4 to 1 turns open. So I'm gonna adjust them both to the low end of that so that we can adjust them more open if we need. So that'll be, you wanna tighten them all the way up until they're snug in there, and then back them off, so turn them to the right until they're snug in there, but don't torque them any, just until you can't turn it anymore. And then you turn it left and back it out to what it says. So 1 turn for low, 3/4 for high. Okay, so I've adjusted those now. Now we'll have to fine tune them some as we get them on the machine. I only messed with them because we had messed with them before. If you never messed with them, then they should be fine where they're at. you may have to adjust them, but it should be good if you haven't touched them. So let's put this back on there and we'll see if she'll work. I have the carburetor put back on the machine now, and I have new gas line on it. Vacuum line's the same, but the vacuum line was fine. It was newer. The gas line broke when we took it off, so got some new stuff for that. Put that on there, and then hook the throttle back up, so works there. So now we just take this, clean this up a little bit, and then put that back on there as well. I'll show you how that goes on there quick. Okay, got everything tightened down on there except for the top cover. But wanted to say one thing about this saw is that, so the bar is right there, and it's got a big air filter on it right here. And when this comes over it, it doesn't like completely cover up in the front. So it throws a lot of sawdust and stuff back into here. So that's partially why I think it got so dirty, was because I didn't check this air filter for quite a while and it got really dirty in there and it got inside of it. So watch that on there too. So toss this all back together, finish it up, and see if it'll run. So I just got this chainsaw to where it's running pretty good. Needs a little more fine tuning on the high end, but I'm gonna be cutting some wood today, so I'll do that when I do that. But it needed quite a bit of adjustment actually on the carburetor. The idle was super high, needed some adjustment so far on the high end, a little on the low, but that's just as to be expected. I always just tune them by ear. I know that there's different things you can get to tune them and stuff, tune the two-stroke carburetors, but I've always just done it by ear and it seems to work out fine. But I hope y'all enjoyed this kind of a video. I can do a lot of these kind of videos if you guys like them. I'll probably do quite a few more, but thank you all for watching. See you next time.